All right, welcome back to Radio Nation. I am your host, Nicholas Pescod. So I'm joined by all the members of Rodrigo Wilde here in studio with me tonight, and they're going to talk a little bit about their band, and we're going to get to know them. So to kick things off, I guess you guys want to introduce yourselves. Leo?
I'm Rodrigo Wilde, and, well, this is Rodrigo Wilde.
Well, Nick, first thing I'd like to say is thank you so much for having us here at the show. This fine evening, this is a special opportunity for us to do this, and we thank you very much for letting us do this.
No problem. Anytime. You guys are always welcome in here. So, all right.
I'll start off with introducing myself. My name is Leo. I play bass in Rodrigo Wilde.
My name's Ferm. I play keys.
My name is Mario and I play guitar.
My name is Alex and I'm the lead singer.
All right, so what kind of style of music do you guys describe? What kind of music do you guys, or your background in music, what do you guys play? Is it rock, punk? Like,
we are a hybrid of many different styles, but we are not classifiable by any means necessary.
That's a good way of describing it. I like that.
Every time we do a show, we get a different classification, and it's always 10 times different than the last one.
So someone will say you sound like this, and
we get a lot of. It sounds like if this person and this person was to have a baby, and this person was to have a baby, and they had a kid, it would be Rodrigo.
I like that. So what have you guys done lately, or what have you guys been up to as a group?
Well, we keep pretty busy with obviously our separate lives, but however, as a band, we try and get as much out there on stage as possible, more than promotions and stuff like that. We just really like to play music and hop on stage. I mean, one stage, it's a lot different than anything that we share as individuals. So our connection is our strongest on stage. So that's what we really try and do is hop on stage and try and get us many shows and time on air as possible.
So do you all go to, I know you go to University of Ottawa, do you all go to the same school, or?
No, not at all.
No.
So how do you guys make that work as a group?
It's been a little difficult, right off the bat, but, once Leo joined the band and he was part of the band, it was like, he's our bassist.
Mm-hmm.
We have used a couple fill-in basses for shows, but once the summertime comes, Leo's going to be with us full-time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blasting that bass out.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in having any other bassists other than Leo. So.
Yeah. He's a pretty good bassist then, is he?
He is.
Yep.
He is.
So you guys are coming out with a song, or you're recording a song?
Unless Kylie's doing it.
Very, very soon, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We've I myself haven't been to the studio yet just because of exams and whatnot, but on Thursday I will be hitting up the studio.
North of 7 Sound Studios, working with Robin Short.
Yep, I'm excited to work with Rob. I've got a little bit of a nice bass line set up for this track. It's called Blazings, and it should be released by the new year. So definitely keep a shout out for that on this station.
Yeah, and it will definitely be a song that will be featured on this station. As here at Radio Nation, we always try to encourage young artists and new bands to get some airtime, because I know on mainstream media or mainstream radio it's always really, really difficult, and I suck with anything musically, so I try to help out in other ways, because I know I would not help you as a band member.
Right.
So as a lead singer, Alex, how do you enjoy it? Like, do you enjoy, obviously you must enjoy what you do, but is there a lot of struggles that come with being the lead singer, or is it something
There
that's
are
pretty...
many singers out there, and a lot of singers know how to sing, but there's a difference between if you actually have the energy behind the words that you're saying, and every single time I get on stage and I sing something, I mean every single word that comes out of my mouth. And that's why a lot of it, when we do it on stage, is different from when we do it in the studio or at rehearsal, because it's improvised.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it is. But it comes across as being quite catchy and put together at the same time.
So it's one of those things they say with a lot of artists and in a lot of different fields, that when you do something, it literally takes a piece of your heart out, and that's kind of...
It's true. I was trained as an opera singer before I started doing rock, and it has been a struggle to free my vocal
Right.
ability, as opposed to just singing everything correctly.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that is amazing. Like, that's why I like being in the band. Well, there's a lot of reasons why.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But definitely singing rock is way more freeing than having to know you're hitting like a G sharp or like a blah blah blah. Like it's way more freeform than people realize.
Was that a tough transition to go from an opera style to a?
Yeah, but at the same time, no. If you take a look at like Freddie Mercury or a lot of really amazing singers, they have operatic styles, like Whitney before she, whatever, stuff like that. Like they have operatic voices,
Yeah.
And there's something when I'm together with all of them, I feel this sort of like really visceral, like raw, really powerful kind of like energy come out of me. So it's like I really can't see myself. I could see myself doing side projects with all of them, but I could not see myself being in another band,
right,
singing.
I think one of the greatest things about Alex also is not only him being the great singer that he is, but also just playing the role of a lead man as much as he does. I mean, you'll see bands out there with great singers, and just the singer doesn't have the energy and push that a lead man needs to have out there when all he has is his mic and his voice. Like, because really, we've got instruments and we can play it off with our weapons, if you will, but all he's got is his voice, and he does a really great job of just getting the crowd into it and communicating with the crowd in a level that a lot of frontmen in other bands just lack.
Just a quick question: how did you guys all get together? How did this band form?
I guess that's where I come in. The
Rodrigo
Wilde himself,
yeah,
the one and only.
Because like you, I'm actually not very experienced in any musical instruments or anything of that sort. But yeah, ironically, I am an artist, and I have a space where we just kind of got together one day, and I know Ferrum. I met Mario just locally. We just kind of hung out, and one day they came up to where I work, and it just kind of all happened over a jam session that just had to go to it just had to keep happening, because like within a week you guys had 3 songs just nailed down.
Within a week we had formed as like a band, and we did our first kind of band practice, and it was at one of our buddies' house. And we get to the place where we're going to rehearse, and we're thinking like we're going to be in a basement, or we're going to be in someone's bedroom and like just get together and jam.
Typical thing, right?
And we get to this guy's house, and it's right at the park, right in Kensington Market, and there's an extension cord coming out of the basement window. Right. So what we ended up doing is we ended up setting it up in his front yard. My keys with my laptop. Mario had his little K-oscillator. Alex is singing, and that was our first time that we came together as like a formed band.
That's pretty awesome, actually. So what do you guys define? Because every band kind of says we're from this part, but you go to school in Ottawa, Leo, and you live in Oakville. So where do you guys define yourself as being? Like, where do you guys say you're from when you go on stage? Or?
We're from everywhere.
I think one of the songs actually talk about that.
We have a song. One of the songs is actually called Rodrigo Wilde, and it's really funny because the lyrics are like, is he from Venezuela? Is he from Virginia? And then it starts talking about how, like, is he legal or is he illegal? It was really funny. We don't really have any borders in our band. If you take a look at all of us, it's like British, Venezuelan, Chilean, Venezuelan, American, Italian. Thank you very much.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
It's like, but it's funny because we have such rich musical and cultural backgrounds. It's really a blessing for all of us to be together as a band.
And so that diversity obviously helps your group go forward in making music.
Oh yeah,
I'm definitely a Torontonian now. I don't consider myself American anymore.
I consider myself American now from hanging out with this guy so much.
I think Toronto is amazing. Nelly Furtado, she said, and I'm gonna quote her because it makes sense. Toronto is like a mosaic. It's like you have all these different cultures, but like here it's like they're like all everywhere. It's like a color palette. It's really cool.
There are no boundaries here, actually. I had to interview another artist for just a school project, and he was saying that you go to LA, and this guy, he worked with Len, the group Len for the song Steal My Sunshine, and he he was saying when you go to LA, it's just like there's the Latino area and there's the Spanish area and this Latino Spanish area, there's the Italian area, and they don't mix. And he said, you know, you tell people that in Toronto that they mix, and people look at him like, Toronto sounds like a crazy place because it's just so foreign to a lot of cities. And Toronto's very, very different like that. So, and you can hear it in the music, you hear it in the artists that come here, that it's not just one style per se, it's like a mix of all different backgrounds. So it's nice. Yeah. So you guys have been working. You guys had something in a magazine. I heard you guys talking about that earlier. So explain some of the other stuff that you guys have been up to as a band.
Yeah, well, we were fortunate that, you know, right when we booked our first show, we were booked by another band called The Secrets. And The Secrets, you know, great band, you know, and they've been a great support with us. And from there we met Poor Boy Clothing. And Poor Boy Clothing, that's Maddie Mick and Spencer Metalis. And it's two guys who run like an amazing little, you know, silk screening company, and they do T-shirts, and they're so involved in helping out all the bands, you know, in the Toronto scene who are upcoming and stuff. And, you know, from there it was just, you know, I think it was a show we did at Rivoli. And after the show, it was, you know, we had a really good show. Alex came in his tux, looking all sharp. A really good show. And afterwards, a woman approached Alex, and she was from a magazine from LA, and she wanted to do an interview with us.
Her name is Jacqueline.
Yeah. Yeah. So she did an interview, and that's coming out in March.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And so can we get that magazine here in Toronto, or is it?
Yeah, and it'll be available online, and you can check it out on the...
Do you know what it's called? Do you know what the magazine's called?
Yeah, I believe it's called Fabric, and it's under Anoki magazine.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I'll definitely have to give that a read, and I'll definitely do some reading on it here on the show for you guys. All right. So is there anything else you guys want to add that you guys have been experienced as a band? Like, how do you guys... how does bookings go? Do you have to do it yourselves, or does someone come to you, or do you have to go to the venue and say, you know what, we're interested in playing at this venue, or does it work the other way?
Well, we started off like doing our own booking, right? And we would all just, you know, anything that we heard of to do, kind of just go with.
Right.
But after we had met Poor Boy Clothing actually throws monthly events, and so do The Secrets. They throw Pop with Brains at the Rivoli, which is a great showcase for artists, and it also raises money for CAMH. And from, you know, meeting these two great, you know, collectives, they've actually been supporting us with a lot of our shows, because they throw a lot of the shows around the city, Rivoli, Rancho Relaxo. Blood Rexdale's another guy who's been very supportive of us, and he brings us out too. He got us to play a CD release party at the Silver Dollar.
So this is some pretty well known events for Toronto.
Yeah, and it's just great to have support from other artists.
Yeah,
and that's been basically our backbone for all of our bookings, and, you know,
do you guys
everything moving forward.
Do you guys play with, you know how some bands will play with the certain same bands going through in a tour? Do you guys do that, or do you just kind of play with whoever?
Well, we have different bands we play with. Like, some of them will be metal, some of them are pop. We played with this really, really cool band called Careers in Science.
Yes.
And I was seriously impressed. The singer was so hot. Like, his hotness was, like, melting my face on stage. I couldn't handle it. And I was like, wow, like, how grateful am I and are we to be able to, like, share stages with, like, these random people. Like, the music is so random. Like, that night it was like metal, then it was pop, then it was like us, which is like, what is that? And then, like, you know, everything. It was amazing.
So does that, when you guys played, that doesn't kind of affect your own show, because the band before was some group and they might have draw a different crowd, but that doesn't affect you guys at all?
Not at all. No.
We've been very fortunate that any crowd that's been there is kind of taken to us and enjoyed what we've been, you know.
Do you guys remember at the Silver Dollar?
Yeah.
When, like, out of nowhere, like how many people was it?
Like, we got at least 40 people.
At least 40. It was like some random bar hop.
And they all started, like, recording us, and they were like, oh my god, we were just gonna come in and have a beer, and we stayed for the entire thing. I was like, yeah.
So that's definitely one of the perks of being in a band, then, is you get that kind of random support.
Yeah, exactly.
So is there anything else you guys want to add before we wrap it up with you guys? Is there anything else you want to add, Leo?
Not really. I'd just like to say, anybody listening out there, keep a shout out for Rodrigo Wilde. We'll definitely be showing our faces in the city, playing a lot more shows, trying to promote our music, and
And our signal. Our signal.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
Yeah.
trying to do what we love doing best, and I feel like I personally perform best when I'm on stage. I feel most at home. Doesn't
Sure.
matter what stage or where it is that I'm doing it. So just to anyone out there in a band, also don't give up for whatever XY reason it is that you guys are having in troubles. And within the bands, like everybody's human, everybody's gonna have their mistakes, and at the end of the day, if you're making music, you're doing it right. So that's all really I gotta say about that, and just keep it real. Like, make music, do what you want to do, and all love.
Is there any you brought up mistakes? Have you guys faced challenges within your own band of what?
Absolutely. There's obviously the distance issue with me, right? Like, I would love to play a show at least once a month, but obviously because of the distance issue and school and whatnot,
Yeah.
of just having to obtain that little piece of paper with my name on it from a university or college, that's kind of my
Yeah.
little wall that I have to get over. But that's personal. I mean, everybody here has their own issues and their own concerns and whatnot. But at the end of the day, once we're on stage, it's nothing but music coming out of ourselves. It's not
I don't even
any,
know my name.
yeah, like, it's not any issues or any past kind of aggressions or anything like that. We just do our thing and keep it real.